Okay, so there's two more on the basic smartphone tips, the reboot and the force quitting apps. And they kind of go together. So let's see. I'm going to start with my Samsung, my Android phone. And first, I just want to show you my recently used apps. That's this three dash button down on the very bottom left. When you tap that, you see all of the apps that you have recently opened. Now, some people think that it's important to do a close all to clean this up. It is not. And people have gotten into fights over this, but I've done a lot of research, and it's not like a computer. These aren't taking up processing power. They're just placeholders. So actually, if you close all the time, you're slowing down your phone because it doesn't have the shortcut placeholders available. That said, there are some reasons to use this. But first, I want to show you rebooting. I'm going to hold down on the power button, also known as the side key, and I'm going to choose restart. So that is rebooting my phone. So it's in process. So on the Android phone, there is that restart option. It shuts down and comes back all on its own. But what I want you to see is that my most recently used apps are all still there. So Reboot did not clean them off. Why? Because it doesn't need to. It's not a good idea to clean those off. Now, if you're just, if you're one of those that always likes to have a completely clean, neat desk, then okay, I understand. It doesn't really hurt much, but
it does slow you down.
I wanted to give an example of when because this happened just a couple days ago. We were traveling and I needed to use my Android Samsung as a hotspot. And it wasn't working. I mean, the hotspot would turn on. I could connect my computer to the hotspot that my phone was being, but after a couple of minutes, it would drop it. It just wouldn't stay.
Reboot.
It
really does solve a lot of problems.
It did fix it. The hotspot worked after that.
Yeah.
But if you're just having problems, for example, with Google Photos, let's say you start to scroll through Google Photos and you go to library and nothing shows up and nothing does, and you tap on something and it doesn't work. You could reboot the phone, but if the only thing you're having a problem with is Google Photos, then you just want to reboot Google Photos. And that is what the multitasking is for. I would tap on the three lines that brings up recently used apps, and I would swipe Google Photos off. That means when I reopen it, it's not starting from that placeholder. It's starting fresh, and it usually fixes those problems. So that was on the Android. Same thing on iOS. I'm going to use my, what is this?
That's an iPad.
That's an iPad. Because it can work if you have a newer iPhone that doesn't have a button. You need to know how to get to your multitasking. And you do that by swiping up from the bottom and then letting go right at the middle. Now I'm on the multitasking, as opposed to just swiping up. Now I'm at home. So swipe up, kind of hold for a second in the middle and let go. Now you can find your misbehaving app and force quit it. That's what that's called. And on the iOS devices, you hold down on the power button until you see slide to power off. And you do have to power off and then count to 10, hold down on the power button to turn it back on again.